Hello and welcome to another pen video from me, Penultimate Dave. So here is another pen. I purchased this pen, purchased it on Amazon. I think it was about £40 in the UK. I think typically in the US is about $40. This is an Asvine pen that you can see there. It comes in this sort of frosted looking plastic box, and you've got a little Asvine logo here. If I open the box, you get a fountain pen instruction manual here, and that just goes through the parts of the pen, how to fill it, depending on the type of the pen it is. They do vacuum filling pens, they do piston filling pens. Now, interestingly, I thought this was a piston filling pen when I bought it. But when it arrived, I actually discovered it wasn't, and it was a power vac. Now, yes, I probably should have done a little bit more research on the pen before buying it. It was a little bit of buying on a whim. I kind of wanted the new Omas. I want to say it's Paragon, but I think it's another model. I think it's the Ogiva. Very similar in design to this. And if I just remove it out of the box and I'll take this away. The interesting part of the new Omas is that it's this frosted like finish to it, and it's not over the whole pen. Like, it's a slight frostingness here on the cap and the body, but more so here on the cap finial, I would say. So I bought it because I couldn't get the Omas Colt Pens exclusive. It was sold out, or it's not come in. So I decided to buy this one. And this cost me about £40 off of Amazon in the UK. An interesting pen. And the first thing you may notice is that that nib doesn't line up with the clip. Now, if I unscrew that and then screw it back in, again, it still doesn't line up. But you can eventually get it to line up. Now, if it doesn't line up, and mine was actually off by about 45 degrees, what you can do is you can unscrew that a little bit and move the clip around. And I've had that experience on quite a few pens. You just crank that back up again, and it actually lines up quite nicely. Now, these do have two threads on them, so you can either have the nib in alignment or it will go in the 180 degree opposite. But this is an interesting pen. And I think, as I said, I thought this was going to be a piston filling pen, and it turned out to be a power vac filler. So it does say it's an Asvine there. It is a V126, and I kind of like it. But like most Chinese pens, and I'm buying Grau pens and I'm buying cheaper Chinese pens. The Chinese pens, I typically do find that probably 7 or 8 out of 10 of them that I receive or buy, I do need to tune the nibs. The nibs are scratchy, they're very dry, so I need to floss the tines a little bit. This was no exception, and I did floss it quite a lot, and I did smooth it quite a lot, and it's still, with the ink I put in there, I originally put in Ferris Wheel Press Oyster Hour, which is more of a sort of a light taupe sort of coloured ink, and it would hard start and skip like crazy. So I flushed it out, and I've since put in KWZ Beefeater Red, which is a very nice red. It's a UK Pen Show exclusive ink, but I really do like it, and you can see it sloshing around there. So it is a power vac filler, so it's obviously inked up. I'm not going to open the power vac knob because I don't want to eject ink everywhere. But if I unscrew the cap, you'll see there, it does come with a number 6 size steel nib. It's a medium nib. I think I could get this in extra fine, and medium. I don't think, at least on the page that or the product that I had on Amazon, I could get it in a broad. I think I have seen Asvine nibs where you can buy them in a broad, though. So I'm sure you probably can get this in a broad. The nibs, I believe, will screw out. But this is an interesting pen. It's about the right size for me, and I can post that cap, and it does post very deeply and securely. And honestly, I could see myself buying a few more of these. Yeah, I know the nib came scratchy and it wasn't perfect out of the box, but for £40, I think this is actually quite a nice looking pen. If it came with maybe a Yovo nib on it or a Bock nib, I think it would certainly be definitely worth the £40. Because, and I have got other Asvines that have come with a Bock nib, but the reason why I say that is that the Bock nibs and Yovo nibs typically need less tuning than the Chinese nibs, but I actually think this is actually quite a good price, and I do like the demonstrator. I do like to be able to see the ink. You can see it's got a very domed cap finial there, which is very frosted. The cap tapers down a little bit to that cap band there where it says Asvine V126, and then there's a bit of a step down, and then you've got the body, and it tapers down to that power vac knob or vacuum filling knob. But it is really a nice size pen, and for me, I have to say the section is about the right size. The pen, yeah, maybe it's a little bit on the shorter side that I would like, but I can write with it perfectly comfortable. And then if I really want to post that cap, I can do it. It posts deeply, securely, and it's not back weighted. And honestly, I probably would post that cap a lot more. It really looks nice posted, and I have to say, this is a nice pen. So I've got to be a bit careful because I bought a whole bunch of Asvines in the past where I think it was the V169s, and they were, I think, power vac fillers as well. I just don't write with them. I think I would want to write more with this one than the metal overlay V169s. But I bought those because they looked like they were the Visconti watermarks, and which I like as well, and I have one. But this I do like, but I also have to think that I do have some other frosted demonstrators, and I'm just trying to think of the name. Opus 88 Calaro demonstrator, and I've got 3 or 4 of those, and I do not write with them, and I should do. And they got Yovo nibs on. It's just that I write with other pens, and maybe I should write with those a little bit more, and I do need to rotate my pens a lot more. But I think with that, let's do a size check. We'll do a weight check. We'll do a pen comparison, and then we'll do a writing sample. So the length of the pen, we're looking about 147 millimeters in length. The length of the cap, we are looking about 68 millimeters in length, because it goes down to this little bit of plastic here. And then I think if we try and not have the pen roll away, and we'll do a size check. So to the tip of the nib or tip of the tines, we're looking about 128 millimeters in length. So normally around 128, 130 is what I would class as being oversized. And definitely, I think it is bordering on oversized for me. Very nice feel to that section. ABS plastic feed there as well. But it really is nice. Now, I think what we'll do a weight check. Now, obviously, clearly this is inked up. So we'll do a full pen weight check, is just under 29 grams in weight. The weight of the cap, we are looking at just over 9 grams. And then the weight of the body, and this might roll away. I have to try and stop it there. Yeah, just under 20 grams in weight. So it's actually, it's not a super light pen, but it is a lighter pen. But it's actually quite nice. Now, one thing I have just noticed is that every now and again when I go to screw that on, and maybe I can't reproduce it now, but it felt like those threads. Oh, there you go. It feels like the threads are. You can see that it's not quite square in, and if you don't get it right, it does cross thread a little bit. So there is a little bit of play there on those threads, and that's maybe something just to watch out for on this pen. So I think with that, let's do a comparison with other pens. So from left to right, we have a Benu Euphoria Earl Grey tea. We have another Benu Euphoria Earl Grey tea. We have a Noto, and this is the Charles Dickens David Copperfield. We have a Conway Stewart Churchill in the Blue Stardust. We have an Asvine V126 Vac filler. We have a Hongdian 8041 Qinghai Tibet Plateau. We have a Majon, and this is the P138 piston filler. We have a Magna Carta Mag 600 in the Azure. We have a Magna Carta Mag 600 in the Obsidian, and we have an Esterbrook ST Oversize in the Cosmic Wine. So I think let's now go and do a writing sample. So this is the Asvine V126 Vac filler, and this is a medium nib. It didn't write like a medium when I got it. It was more like a Western fine. It is a steel nib. It is a Chinese nib. The ink in here, as I mentioned, is KWZ Beef Eater Red. And I do like this ink a lot. Bought a couple of extra bottles of that ink. Now, obviously, I've tuned this nib, but we'll do some vertical line variations there. Now, that's a Western medium. Can I push it? Yeah, I can definitely get a broad out of this. So if I really push hard, I can do some more vertical lines. You're not seeing any hard starts or skips. Now, when I got this pen, I inked it up with Ferris Wheel Press, Oyster Hour, and it was hard starting and skipping a lot. It really didn't like that ink, but since putting this ink in here, it writes beautifully. So in terms of ink wetness, let's take a look. You can see now I have flossed that times quite a bit. KWZ Beefeater Red is a nice wet ink as well. So for me, that really is a good writer now. What do I like? What do I not like about the pen? Well, I love that it's a demonstrator. I love that it's a cigar-shaped pen, and it's a frosted demonstrator. I am more partial to frosted demonstrators. I do have non-frosted demonstrators, but it's the frosted demonstrators that I really do like. I like that it's a vac filling pen as well, so it's going to hold at least a couple of milliliters of ink as well. Probably more than that, actually. And I guess I like it's a Chinese pen. What do I dislike? I think with all Chinese pens, you take a chance with the nibs, whether or not they're going to write well out of the box, and this one didn't. And I'd say probably a good 70-80% of the time, I do have to tune the nibs because they write too dry or too scratchy. So outside of that, I'd probably say that's the things I dislike. Also, you've got to be a little bit careful with those threads because it can cross thread a little bit if you don't get the pen in there into the cap squarely. That might just be a one-off. I don't have any more of these that I could try it with, but I'd be interested to hear what you say if you have the V126 Power Vac filling pen from Asvine. So there you have it. That's my unboxing review of the Asvine V126 Vac filler with a medium steel nib. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next pen video. Bye-bye.